I'm Sara Naab, and I am the co-founder of Trak Fertility, and we're working on a home diagnostic tool and tracking tool, monitoring tool to help with men's fertility. So that's us. I wanted to start today by talking about my own journey into the fertility space. So on June 23rd, 2004, I received some devastating news. My doctor told me that I might not ever be able to carry my own child, or I might never be able to get pregnant. I got a secret. I'm pregnant. So this is me 10 years ago, right after that diagnosis. And it had never dawned on me that fertility could be an issue, right? I came from a big family. My grandmother was one of 14. My mom one of 7. I was one of 5. Fertility just was not something we really thought about. Okay. Yeah, I project. Fertility was not something that I really thought could be an issue. And so it really surprised me to get this diagnosis. But it made me take a long, hard look in the mirror. What was going on with my health? And I wasn't with anyone. I wasn't involved. Wasn't trying to settle down. But I felt like if I get this diagnosis this young, I must be not paying attention to my body. And so over the course of some years, there's a couple years that I went through this dramatic transformation, looking at my diet, my stress levels, my environment. I lived in very unhealthy places in the world, and I started exercising, became a runner, got addicted, became a triathlete, and transformation. It was a beautiful journey for me, and in that, I was blessed. I met the love of my life, and as I settled down, we conceived our 2, now 3 boys. And I find that to just be the most amazing blessing and journey that I've ever been on, and rewarding. Beyond the ability to get pregnant, though, was this remarkable insight into my own health. Fertility for me opened up a door to understanding my body in a new way. It opened my ability to feel what health feels like. And as I started thinking, I have 4 younger brothers, and I wondered maybe they could also be at risk of some of the same things. We grew up the same way, had the same lifestyle, and could they be at risk for infertility? And I thought, hey, they're not going to the doctor. They're not going to get that wake-up call. So I started doing some research into male fertility. And what I discovered was that there's a little bit of a sperm crisis going on. And we don't really talk about that in the fertility space. We have the statistic, 40 to 50% of infertility is related to men. Of course it is. That makes sense. They're the partner. There's 2 of us. It's half of them. But we don't really think, what does that mean? What is going on with men's health? And so I started doing more research and some studies. Here's a study that came out last year out of Denmark, 5,000 healthy young men, military recruits. And this is shocking. Okay, so this 22%, 1 in 5, that's clinically low sperm count. That is low enough to, your chance of conception here is like under 10%. But 50% have sperm counts low enough to impact a couple's monthly chance. So even if the couple isn't infertile, very likely that the man could have some subfertility going on. And that's not often talked about. We see the same thing again here in a study in France. They did a study where they looked at sperm counts over 20 years, and 30% decline in average sperm count. And again, the average sperm count was low enough to impact the couple's chance of conception. And so something is going on in that average is getting to the place of subfertile. Now Now, of course, these studies were done in Europe, so there may be a few confounding factors about lifestyle that could be a little bit different from the United States, but still, we want to take it into consideration that as you talk to sperm banks, you'll see that there's an increase in demand for donor sperm and a decrease in qualified donors who can provide it. Something's going on. And so I want to ask today a big question. Are we ignoring men's reproductive health as a society? Are we ignoring men's reproductive health? So I want to do a little bit of a poll. How many men here go into the doctor for an annual exam every year? Good job. And I'll bring you women into it. How many of you know a man that goes into the doctor for an annual exam? Oh, okay. From there, let's ask, is that annual exam involve a screening for prostate or testicular cancer? Yeah. Does it involve a semen analysis? No. No, we do not screen men regularly for their reproductive health. We don't test often their hormones, we don't test their sperm, and they don't have feedback as to if they could have a problem in that part of their life. Furthermore, when men do go in and actually get a semen analysis and they find out they have something going on, a lot of them are not provided with an adequate diagnosis as to the underlying cause. This pie chart here represents the 52,000 doctors who specialize in reproductive medicine in the United States. And the small sliver up at the top is the 200 urologists who specialize in male fertility. The issue here is that men are often not being connected to these very few doctors who can give them really solid understanding of what's going on with their bodies and what's the underlying cause of infertility. General urologists often do not understand fertility in men, and sometimes can do things like prescribe testosterone for low testosterone, which actually would cause a man to become sterile. And so sometimes they're just not getting the right treatment. Finally, men they don't have feedback systems like we do. We have a cycle, we have symptoms, we have stuff going on. Sperm are invisible, and you generally aren't looking at semen. And they don't have a cycle. That's a monthly thing that gives them feedback as to how their fertility is doing. And so, men are really, really lacking tools to help with their fertility until now. At Trak, we've developed the very first system, comprehensive system for helping men monitor their fertility. It starts very simply with a question: could I have a problem? We're reaching out to men and helping them understand if they are at risk. So what we've done is we've worked with some of the urologists to develop a risk assessment tool that will help guys ask a few simple questions about their life, about their medical history, and it will allow them to figure out if they're at a high, medium, or low risk. We also give them an ability to take a test and find out what's going on. So Trak is an over-the-counter home system for men to take home and do some key measurements of sperm health that they can do at the privacy and convenience of their home. If they find out that they have a problem, we give them a lot of tools to help fix it. So we've developed the Don't Cook Your Balls Guide to Male Reproductive Health. And we really like to use humor because you got to keep this lighthearted. You got to make this information accessible. If you really want people to learn about their health and about what they can do about it, you have to get them to want to read it. And a diagram of a penis is really not something that a guy wants to look at. So we have jokes, we have YouTubes, and we've interviewed some of the top doctors in a kind of lighthearted way about the conditions that affect male fertility. Finally, we give them tools to keep score. Men love to keep score. And keeping score can help you stay on track. This is a big known thing about motivation. What we do here is we'll be able to, you can track your sperm health along with lifestyle factors that impact male fertility, and be able to see over time what is helping and what is hurting your man's fertility. And those things combined will really help a man be able to take control of his fertility. For me, fertility was a invitation to get in touch with my body and to understand and have the tools for a lifetime of health. And with Trak, we give men the opportunity to have the same thing. And I really would just love to invite you to join me on this journey to really get the word out that male reproductive health is an issue and that there is something that can be done about it. Not only are we going to help men on their journey to fatherhood, but we're going to help them optimize their testosterone. We're going to help them feel good. We're going to help them get in touch with their bodies and equip them with a lifetime of tools to take control of their health and to take care of themselves. Thank you. Questions? Yes. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't have solid data on what is what, and this is the first step. We don't have data because men aren't getting tested. And so one of the things that's really nice about Trak is just kind of in line of what Ovuline's doing. We're going to be building a database and seeing what things men are exposed to, what they're doing, and then what's impacting. And hopefully we're going to help science move some of those questions forward. So there'll be an app, and very similar to how Ovuline works, we have questions men can fill out. They're going to have like a red, yellow, green about their stress level, about their exposure to toxins, smoking, drinking, nutrition, antioxidants, things like this, things that they can do. And then also there'll be questions about their medical history that helps to flag things that would be potentially genetic disorders or actually medical things that need to be treated by doctors. So we are in kind of the preclinical phase right now, doing a lot of our testing and just getting ready to ramp up for those clinical trials for the FDA. We're hoping to do those clinical trials sometime over the summer, and if everything goes swimmingly with the FDA, we're hoping to have the product out by the end of the year. The app may be available sooner because that doesn't have to get that same rigmarole approved, so we might be able to give men that tool sooner.